Gmail redesigned since 2013. The overhaul has a slew of new features designed to attract businesses.
As you type, all you need to do is keep auto completing.
The chance is high that you are using Gmail, and let me tell you, Gmail has a pretty interesting story.
Tell me more.
If you wanted to find a specific email that someone sent you on a specific topic, it was easy. You just used the search bar to find it.
Gmail started as a tool to search for email inside Google internal email system. But because this tool solved the issue of many Googlers, the company decided on limited rollout to the market. Google released the Gmail in a unique way, as an invite only. So in order to have a Gmail account, you need to get an invite from another Gmail user. And guess what? It totally worked.
Seriously?
The new Google service got the attention of millions of users. And even some people started to sell their accounts on eBay. And some of those accounts went up to $100. Wow. This graph shows the Gmail market growth since it was released in 2004. By the year 2013, Gmail beat all the competitions in the market, and it was already on the top of all the email services with a tremendous difference in the number of users. And yeah, when released, Gmail didn't look anything like what it does right now.
It didn't even have a delete button.
I cannot believe it!
The beta release of the Gmail service gave the chance to the team to collect early feedback from the users and start iterating on the product. And then Google leveled up the game and start adding new features like priority index, conversation threading, and a ton of other features until the service evolved to what you know and probably use today. This is not another storytelling. If you're still wondering why this story is important for agile teams, listen to the guy behind the Gmail idea.
Try to get the product in front of users as quickly as possible and really learn from what they have to say and the problems that they're having and things that they really like, and continue refining the product and even just the very vision of what the product is, as well as all the little details.
One of the biggest advantage of getting the product out quickly is that you get the feedback sooner and you change the direction freely. Hello Agilists, and welcome to AgileGo. Last video in this series we explained what is a user story and the importance of using it. So buckle up and let's explain how to write a good user story. Bill Woke introduced the INVEST acronym to describe the attributes of a good user story. This acronym became widely used to help agile teams refine user stories. Bill also mentioned that the user story should be independent, negotiable, valuable, estimable, small, and testable. Too much? Actually, it's very easy and make complete sense. Let's break it down for you. Many user stories have sequential dependencies as the product functionality starts building up, and yet each user story should deliver value independently. Let's take this example. As an administrator, I can set the consumer password security rule so that users are required to create and retain secure passwords, keeping the system secure. As a consumer, I am required to follow the password security rules set by the administrator so that I can maintain high security in my account. In this example, the consumer story depends on the administrator story, because the administrator story is only testable if the consumer story is done. By reconsidering the stories, we can achieve the independence. As an administrator, I can set the password expiration period so that users are forced to change their passwords periodically. As an administrator, I can set the password strength characteristics so that users are required to create difficult-to-hack passwords. Rewriting the stories from different personas' perspective allowed us to develop and test independent user stories. The lack of too much details in a user story enhances the team and the business ability to make trade-offs between functionality and delivery date. Because a good user story should allow the team to discover better ways to achieve it through a conversation. Let's take this example of a user story. As a book buyer, I want to be able to rate the book out of 5 stars so that other people can see the rating on the book page. While a negotiable story should be, as a book buyer, I want to be able to rate how much I like the book so that better recommendations can be made. It's a small change, but the second story doesn't specify the rating system and it doesn't say where the information should be displayed, so that it leaves the door open for the Agile team to discover other useful functionalities. The problem with the team that practiced traditional project management way of work for a long time, that they expect clear and defined solution to work on. But in Agile, a conversation over the user story is the key to develop a good functionality. Think of a user story as a complete multiple layer cake. So you have database layer, logic layer, and presentation layer. When we split this user story horizontally, we are serving only part of the cake, but we want to give the user a complete taste of the cake. And the best way to do this is to split it vertically. Teams are often inclined to work on one layer at a time and get it right. But think about it. A full database layer has little value to the end user if the presentation layer is not complete. Creating a valuable story requires us to reorient our breakdown structure from horizontal to vertical approach. If the team is unable to estimate a user story, generally it's an indicator that the user story is too large or uncertain. If the user story is too large, then breaking it down into multiple user stories can help the team estimate them effectively. In case the user story is uncertain, then creating an investigation story can help the team reveal the needed information to estimate them. The end game of the estimation process is the conversation that draws out any hidden assumption or missing acceptance criteria and create shared understanding. If your user story is something like users should be able to search a product, this big story can be broken down to something like, as a buyer, I want to be able to search a product by name. As a buyer, I want to be able to sort the search result from low to high price. Each user story here is providing a value on its own, as well as small enough to be developed and tested. Small user stories have the advantage of easy estimation, as well as fast learning, and moreover, the team can receive quick feedback from the user. But how small the story should be? Mike Cohen, in his book Agile Estimation and Planning, advised that the story should take 1 to 2 days to be completed, or no more than 10 days. In other words, story should be small enough to be completed in one iteration, but in the same time can deliver value. Vague words such as quickly, nice, and clean are easy to be written, but very hard to be tested, because they mean different things to different people, therefore should be avoided. While those words provide negotiability, framing them within clear boundaries will help the team share the expectation with the user and avoid any surprises. Many Agile teams use test-driven development, where they write the automated unit test before writing the code itself. Because if a team knows how to test a user story, they probably know how to code it as well. To summarize it all for you, the INVEST acronym helped the Agile team to discuss the user story from different perspectives. So use it during the backlog refinement to have a good user story. Now I have a question for you. Write in the comment which part of the INVEST acronym you find most challenging or maybe not clear yet for you. If you like this content, share and like and subscribe, and wait for the next video where I'm going to explain how to estimate a user story.
Try to get the product in front of users as quickly as possible.